evening, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. My name is Chituru and welcome to our 2023 PYP exhibition. Conflicts at home, conflicts at school, conflicts at work too. Conflicts can happen anywhere at any time. I'm sure you've had conflicts before too, but I wonder how you solve them. My central idea is peace and conflict resolution exists in our communities and around the world and helps us live in harmony. My lines of inquiry are reasons for conflicts, the impacts of unresolved conflicts, and our roles in resolving conflicts. My key concepts are causation, change, and responsibility. But first, what is conflict? Conflict is a clash of interests that can end up in a good way or a bad way. Did you know that there are many types of conflicts? For example, conflicts at home. Families have many sources for conflicts. They can be parents arguing on how they want to raise their children, arguments on how money should be spent within the family, or arguments on how they want to divide house chores. Schools also have sources like fights, bullying, misunderstanding, discrimination, and so much more. Last but not least, conflicts in the playground. Conflicts in the playground can start from who gets to go down the slide, when they get to go down it, who gets to play a game, and when they get to play that game. That is why, when we were told to choose our focuses for this year's PYP exhibition, I chose peace and conflict resolution between people and communities, so I could help people solve conflicts before they escalated and became a bigger problem. I dove into my first line of inquiry, which is reasons for conflicts, by asking myself a question. What are the reasons for conflicts? Well, I did some research and I found out that there are many reasons for conflicts, like owning land. You see the war going on in Ukraine and Russia? Both nations want to own the same plot of land, and they are having a war because of that. It has caused the deaths of many people, and that is not good. They can also be misunderstandings, personal differences, different goals, and lack of trust, and so much more. To find out more about reasons for conflicts, I interviewed Mrs. Babatunde Lawal. She works in the People and Cultures Unit of IITA, and she gave me an example of one of the common conflicts that happen in our IITA offices. The example she gave me was that some workers are given more responsibility than others, and it causes conflicts between the employees because they think some workers are favored over the other. Now that rounded up my first line of inquiry. Then I went into my second line of inquiry, which was the impacts of unresolved conflicts. There are many impacts of unresolved conflicts, and they can do bad things not only to you, but to others. They can cause tension at home, at work, at school, anywhere you go, and they can make your body feel physically pained and sick. That is not good for your body, not only physically, but also mentally. That concluded my second line of inquiry. Now, I went into my last line of inquiry, which is our roles in resolving conflicts, by doing some research. Everybody has a role in resolving conflicts. It may be big, it may be small, and it also may be just being there for somebody. To find out more about this, I interviewed Mr. Tassier, my dad, and he told me that everybody has a role resolving conflicts. And that role can be big, small, like I said, or just being there for somebody. He is a lawyer and a professor. So he told me that when he's in court, two lawyers may be raising their voice at each other, and it may seem as if they're fighting. But at the end, they may go into the same car and go out for a drink together. It shows that they let the conflict stay between the clients and not the lawyers, because if it spreads, it can also escalate and still become a bigger problem. That concluded all my lines of inquiry. And I thought, what can I do to make this world a better place in my own little way? So I decided I was going to work with some students, teach them about conflicts and how to solve them. Then they were going to bring back some information from the internet for me so that we could all work together. So I went to Rosakin's school and collaborated with 2 of their students. Soon after our collaboration, they came to my school, IITA school, to give a presentation to the lower primary students. And I know they enjoyed it. They learned something from that presentation, I am sure of that. And now they can go to anybody they need to go to and tell them about it, so they can keep conflicts in a lower range as possible. I also made this. This is the peace sign. And you can probably know that it already symbolizes peace. I made it out of cardboard and paint. This is also the peace sign too. I also drew this. Doves symbolize peace as well. I also did a survey among the students and some of the teachers about what they would do when they were in a conflict. I found out that many students would go tell a teacher or ignore the person that they were talking to or had the conflict with. In conclusion, peace is not the absence of conflict, but our ability to cope with it. And conflict is something that you cannot escape in life. Thank you very much.